What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be going over the magical world of audio effect racks. So I have a piece of audio here. Right, kind of interesting. I'm going to add a redux device. Right, so we've essentially downsampled. Right, so we get that little grit. And I'm going to add a delay. Ping pong delay. So, the problem. Right. What I'm hearing in the delay, the redux is going into the delay. What if I don't want that? What if I want the redux to be by itself and a delay signal from this going through cleanly? Well, I can make a parallel channel, but there's another way to do that. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use an effect rack. There you go, right here. Right? So, yeah, it says drop audio effects here. We will do that. So we're going to drop our first one here. There we go. I'm going to click on this little drop-down menu here. This is the same thing that we use to make our chains, all right? Our chains, our macros. The same thing we use to make our macros. So you have chain 1. All right, we have that. Right? We can add a delay. So now it's in its own kind of separate entity. So here's what we had last time. So I'll turn that off. That's how you turn it off. Right? Sounds cool, but we can make it sound better. So here's the same one, but the delay is clean. Right, that effect is going clean through. So it's effectively coming in through here, being split into two. One is going into a redux, and the other one is going into our delay. And from there, we can do other neat kind of things. Let's go. Let's add. Hold on. We'll add a reverb. Right. So now we have all three of these going into their own separate thing. Right. Well, listen to that reverb here. Not quite up to the loudness that we want, so we can add an effect after the reverb. Doesn't affect any of these other chains. Right, it's all self-contained, and we can solo it like so, and then mute activate and deactivate it here. So let's compress the crap out of it. Alright, so I'm going to add another compressor. No, I'm not going to add another compressor. What am I doing? Right, so we have all this. Right, so we have the redux giving it that bite, the ping pong delay doing whatever it does all day, and the reverb, but we've brought out the reverb quite a bit. And we can do neat things like pan them left and right. That's an extreme example, but you get the idea. All right, that is one of them, so I'll get rid of that. So now we have this gentleman. All right, so I'm going to add another audio effect rack. Now this gets into more kind of slightly advanced type of things. So I'm going to add two utilities. I'm going to open up my chain, open up another one. So I have two utilities here. I'm going to set this one, I'm going to solo it so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to set this to width at absolute 0. So it's a completely mono signal. It just collapsed everything right to the center. I'm going to go to our other one and set this to 200. So what this does is it cancels out all the mono signal and you get the wide signal. So what can we do with that? Well, it's basically the same thing, but we can affect the mono signal and the stereo signal independently. So you can get this kind of going here, and we'll compress it so we get, a very loud stereo image. Why not? Right? So you get a very kind of deep drony sound. Right? And just so you can hear it, we'll add an effect. We'll just add a redux post. Right, so this is only affecting the center channel. And we have that neat, wide reverb we have here, and we can enhance it with, an EQ8, because why not? And we'll give it a listen. Right? That sounds kind of great by itself, but we've really, brung it out. I don't do this as much as I should, though, but, I guess I will. Right, so from there, we can collapse that. We can open up our macro, and we can map any of these to anything, really. So what we can do is map this to macro 1, and we'll have, oops. Oh, that wasn't good. I don't know why I right-clicked there. Been playing with Bitwig a little too much. We'll have our phaser in the center channel. And I'll map this to macro 1 as well, and we'll give it, a long, slow rate. As an example, and then we can just get rid of all these. Oh, we can actually, click on that, hide our chain, and then we have a whole lot of things under the hood for this simple effect rack. And we have our macros, and we can just close it all together, and we have that tiny little footprint that does all that neat stuff. And from there we can add our compressors and more EQs, more effects traditionally. Then we can then add another effect rack and put stuff in it, and then in theory, in theory you have to click on the actual, there we go, you can actually group these and create a super rack, and you can just go crazy to infinity theoretically and do some great things. That's the audio effect rack. You already know how this works, but now you know how the chains and stuff work. So hope you learned stuff, and have a good one.